Welcome back. Hopefully you had some time to explore the quick start and a few other commands. Now that you're more comfortable with the basics of IPFS, we can start working with files on the network. In this video, we'll focus on text files and explore some of the core ideas that will remain true no matter which type of files you end up working with. These next few commands don't have to do with IPFS at all. We'll just be getting some files on our local computer. To start, make a directory called whatever you like. I'll call it IPFS. Now, change into that directory. Next, if we list the files, we can see we just have an empty folder. Make a simple text file in this directory. I'll do that by typing echo hello IPFS, which will be the content of the file, and then pipe that into a command named hello IPFS.text. You can also just make a simple text file and save it into this folder if you prefer. Also, if you're on Windows, you can use type instead of echo. Alright, so now if we list the files, we can see we have our new text file. To see the contents of this file, type cat hello IPFS.text. Still, none of this has to do with IPFS. It's just helpful to get familiar with the files using the command line to work with IPFS. To actually add something to IPFS is pretty simple. To do that, type IPFS add followed by the name of your file. Alright, that's it. You just uploaded your first file to IPFS. What you get back is the hash value of the file you uploaded. Every unique piece of content in IPFS has a unique hash value like this. This will help you search for the content later on, which we can actually do right now. To get this content back, type in IPFS cat, then paste in the hash value that was returned. What you'll see is that it's still the same file as when you read it from your computer. The difference now is that it's from IPFS. You could delete your local file and this would still be there. Okay, so let's try something with this file. We'll run through what we just did one more time and I'll show you why in a second. Update the file with some new text. Anything you like. I'll do that by typing hello IPFS, here's more text, and pipe that to hello IPFS.txt. This will update the file you made with some new content. I'll check it out again using cat hello IPFS.text to make sure it was updated. Now, add this same file to IPFS using IPFS add hello IPFS.text. What you get back is the hash value for this file. We did this because, check it out, even though the file is the same, the hash value is new. That's because IPFS uses content-based addressing rather than location-based addressing like we went over earlier. Just like how each block on a blockchain has a specific hash value, each unique file in IPFS also has a specific hash value. You can't look up the files by their location. It has to be done using this hash. This is pretty easy to see just by looking at these hashes here, but it actually is an enormous difference between IPFS and something like HTTP. Here's an example of why. To show you, first, it's time to show you something known as the IPFS gateway. This is where everything you load onto the network can be found using its publicly visible URL. To see your text file, open a browser and type gateway.ipfs.io/IPFS. Then follow that by the hash value you got for your file. What you're seeing here is the file uploaded to a URL you can share with anyone. This is a really cool idea to me. This link right now can already be shared with anyone, and nobody can ban, delete, hide, or remove it in any way. But here's where that content-based addressing comes in. I'll open my file and make one more change. I'll say, hello world, it's Joe. I'm on IPFS. Back in my terminal, I'll add this to IPFS. Then I'll refresh the web browser to see the changes. No changes. I can't see the changes because I'm still looking at the hash value from the original file. It doesn't matter to IPFS that it's the same file in the same place. It's only looking at the content. To see the new content, I have to switch out the hash value with the new one it gave to me. Alright, so I do that and I see the new file. Great, I can find my file. The reason I'm showing you this is that it gives us a pretty interesting problem. If the link is going to change every time we upload a new file, how could we possibly have a file or website that we can share with everybody? Every change would make a new link, making it impossible for anyone to see the most up-to-date version of the file. We'll revisit this idea a little later when we make our first website. For now, just maybe think through the problem and see if you can come up with a solution. Alright, so that wraps up this video. You just learned how to create, add, read, and visit text files from the terminal. You also now know how to view these files in a browser using the IPFS gateway. In the next section, I'll show you how to work with other files like images, videos, PDFs, and entire folders. There's some small differences depending on what you're trying to do, but the core ideas you just learned here will stay exactly the same. So if you'd like, take some time to play around with these text files. Think a bit about the URL problem I mentioned, and when you're ready, I'll see you in the next section.